Watch fam. What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and welcome to Ask TNH, episode 107. Before we get into it, we'll do a quick wristwatch check. Then, like I said, we'll get into it. So right now I'm wearing an election chronograph. It's a signed election. Not that that was ever really a brand. I mean, they made watches, some time only, some chronographs. Not a big array though. Really cool looking stuff. I love the instrumentation on this watch. To me, interesting dials on chronographs, on anything, but on chronographs especially, can just be so cool. But it's available on the watch shop at theoandharris.com, so check it out. But I forgot for the last 2 weeks to give a big shout out to a TNH fan, Ricardo. Anna, please put up his advertisement. He sent me this advertisement through Snapchat. If you don't follow us on Snapchat, do it right now at Theo and Harris. He sent me this advertisement through Snapchat, and just one of my thoughts, like just to say, hey, like I made this, hope you like it. And I think it's an amazing advertisement for Omega. I don't know, I think that he did a terrific job in a really simplistic way. Just really, it's clean. It's understated. I feel like it's interesting that it would grab people's attention that don't know Omega is the moon watch, because plenty of people don't know that. I just think he did a really great job, and I think that it's a solid piece of graphic marketing. I think that there should be a quote on there somewhere, maybe a bit of a right hook, not just Omega, maybe something else, maybe make it an Instagram, follow our moon journey, on Instagram or something like that. But as a foundational piece of material, I think you did an amazing job, buddy. Thank you so much for sending it to me, and I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to actually give you a shout out. I know everyone that sent me emails recently, I promise you guys I'm doing my best to get back to all of you. I feel so badly sometimes. I'll get an email from a guy, hey, I sent this to you a week ago, like, can you get back to me? I'm so sorry, guys. I really do my best. I know I get back to 95% of you, but there are people I just don't get back to as quickly, and I really do apologize. But it means the world to me to have a dialogue with you guys. So please don't feel like I'm just ignoring you because you're not asking to buy one of my watches. Not the point. There's actually no correlation between those things. But that's it. So let's get into the episode now. So today we're going to do a quick, STNH-ish thing. Someone asked me about engagement watches. Not that the question was that well formed, but I'm going to give you my thoughts on engagement watches. Okay, there are a couple different scenarios. Should you give your fiance a watch for an engagement? If they want. That's it. Don't force them. Don't try to persuade them. You can try to persuade. Be very gentle. I don't want to sound like a guy who just doesn't know or understand women, but what guy really does know or understand women? Things are inexplicable sometimes, and sometimes they're just better left unargued. For some reason, women love diamond rings, and diamond rings are very expensive. I walked into a jeweler, a friend of mine, that was he was writing up an invoice for $25,000 like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, imagine the watch I would get for 25 grand. Like, damn, I would do really well. I know that's a lot of wasted money because at least to my understanding, I don't know, maybe a jeweler could come in and step in over here. Not that I would trust the jeweler to step in, but maybe like an intern at a jewelry shop could step in over here and tell some truth about the diamond biz. But I mean, is there residual value there? I mean, I know people that bought rings, proposed and then are stuck with them once the proposal falls through. I mean, those people have never really gotten their money back at all. Whereas if you buy a day-date, you buy a vintage day-date, you're basically going to get your money back completely if you buy it from a good dealer. But I don't know, it's tough. I find no value in diamond rings. I really don't. I would have a hard time spending $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, and they go way up on a diamond ring. It's just I always have a problem with that. But I don't know if I wouldn't really argue it if I had the money and that's what my soon-to-be fiance wanted. I wouldn't argue it. Would I much prefer to buy her a Longa or a Nautilus or any watch? Absolutely. Like, geez, that would be so hot. If my fiance said like, well, you know what, like let's forget the whole ring thing. I really want an overseas. I would be like, well, I like the overseas. Let's do a little bit better. But that is awesome. I think it's just cool that you share such a passion, and ultimately, and plenty of women buy their own. It's whoever's working, whoever makes more money, or whatever the situation is. But if you do happen to be in a relationship where you're buying that $15,000 or $5,000 gift, it's just a little bit easier if you also respect and appreciate that gift. It feels a little bit less like money in the wind. So I mean, that's kind of my thought on doing that. But I think that your question was a little bit, it was twofold, but a little bit more on the side of, okay, I gave my wife an engagement ring. Can I buy myself a watch? Should she buy me a watch, or should I get no watch? And that's an interesting thing too. I mean, let's say your familial budget is $10,000. How is that split? How do you make a deal there? I don't know. It's a really sticky situation. Can I say, okay, well, I'm going to spend $5,000 on her and $5,000 on me? Does that make you a dick? Or is it 80-20? I don't know, dude. I think that the element of surprise is probably your best friend. Hopefully just stay within your means and do the right thing with a compromise between what she wants and what you can afford. And you should get something back in return. If not tomorrow, then for Christmas, or if not now, then as soon as she can scrape something up when, or if she makes a fortune, maybe she'll just give it to you on a Sunday morning breakfast. Who the knows? But it's a really sticky situation. I don't know what the stats are, but I would assume that most people never spend the amount of money they spend on a diamond on anything else before that diamond. I don't know that, but I'm just assuming that from my lay conversations, from purely anecdotal evidence. I've found that people's first huge luxury purchase was their diamond ring for somebody else. And that, it's beautiful and it's marriage and it's the most wonderful thing, but that does kind of suck if you're a watch geek. If you're a watch geek that's really dying, for a sub, and you're wearing a Seiko SKX, and now you have to go shell out $8,000 for a ring. No matter how much, you love your significant other, that gotta hurt a little bit. I guess the best scenario, is if your, wife either wants a watch or if you're gay. I mean, that's, then you just win, because I don't think that most men wear diamond engagement rings. I think that wedding bands are pretty inexpensive. So, I mean, shout out to all the gay watch geeks out there. You guys, on this scenario, you guys really win. Plus you could switch watches, but that's it. I mean, shout out to the LGBT, watch fam. You guys win here. The rest of us lose. The rest of us are absolutely throwing money into diamonds and pretending that it doesn't bother us that much. As soon as you meet that, person that you think that, okay, maybe this might be someone I could marry, make them follow Theo and Harris on Instagram. Give them that watch bug. Maybe, that would be the best scenario. And if it doesn't happen naturally, then totally avoid it. Don't try to force them into a watch. And you can't really demand something in return because it's a gift. I mean, it is. It's a sign of commitment, but more so it's a gift. I mean, you could also commit to someone with a string. It's a large, generous gift that is kind of imposed upon us by these bizarre American norms of wealth. So whatever. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching episode 107 of Ask TNH.